Our first question will come from Bob Frisbillo with Sooner Scoop, and then John Hoover.
Yeah, Isaiah, just sort of wondering if you think your role has changed at all since Ronnie's come back.
Not at all. Obviously, a different position with LaRon Stokes being out. But other than that, I don't think my role has really changed much. They still expect me to be productive and to make plays just as much as I have been throughout the season. So I don't think my role has changed since Ronnie's been back. I think it actually elevated my role to, because Ronnie out there, he's playing to the standard he plays at. It makes me want to play, even at a higher standard as well. So, I don't think my role has changed.
Okay, John Hoover, SI Sooners, and then Ryan Aber.
Isaiah, hey, I'm curious about. I'm trying to figure out how you guys are blowing people out early in games, and then you come out at halftime, and kind of the same thing happens. You guys get off to a fast start after halftime. Is that game planning? Is it preparation? Is it practice? Is it what Coach Riley joked about yesterday? Obviously, my pregame and halftime speeches are awesome. What goes into that? All the different elements.
Well, I know earlier in the season we didn't finish as well as we wanted to, but we'd always start fast. And I know like around the third, fourth game of the season, we started harping on how we got to finish better. And from that point on, we really took the time throughout practice, like even like off the field, like preparing ourselves to be able to finish better in games. So we start strong, then we also take it upon ourselves to take great pride in finishing as well. And you've seen that the last several weeks in the games we played in. I feel like we earned that respect to know that we'll be out there playing all four quarters. So I think definitely it comes from preparation and also the mindset that these coaches have instilled in us.
Cool. Thank you very much.
Ryan Aber, the Oklahoman, and then Eric Bailey.
Yeah, Isaiah, when you look back at the evolution of this defense since you've been around, especially in the last couple seasons since Alex took over, what do you feel like's been the biggest key toward helping this defense turn around? And did you ever wonder if it was reasonable to play good defense at OU with the kind of offense y'all have, especially?
Definitely. I think what played a role in that was how much Coach Grinch believed in us. And like once we seen how much freedom he gives us out there on the field and how much he believes in us, we believed in ourselves as well. And we knew that if we have a defense that's complementary to our offense, that would definitely be a great team, and that's like competing for a national championship here soon. So definitely the confidence that Coach Grinch instilled in us and how specific he is on the little details. Like no detail is too small. So we take great pride in that. We have fun out there and fly around, and it complements our offense as well. And like their energy feeds off us, and also our energy feeds off them. And so it just plays well into what we've been doing lately.
Appreciate it, Isaiah.
Eric Bailey, Tulsa Whirl, and then Joe Bettner.
Isaiah, do you ever hear from former defensive teammates about how you guys are playing this year? And who were some of your mentors while you're waiting for your time to play? And what's it like to build upon what they started?
Definitely. Like players like Neville Gallimore or Kenneth Mann, and play like specifically from my experience as a defensive lineman that usually hit us up recently or throughout the year. Like people like Neville Gallimore, they definitely see the growth since they've left, and from the time that they were here, they see the big difference that we've made for this defense. And it's great to know that people that they used to play here are acknowledging that, because we know that the standard that they play to, and seeing that they're saying that we raised the bar is definitely a great feeling, because we know how hard we work our butts off, and for it to be noticed across the country, and like even other people may see it but may not say anything, but we know that they notice it, and it's a great feeling that like these former players are acknowledging that.
Thank you, Isaiah.
Joe Bettner, Norman Transcript, and then Dean Blevins.
Isaiah, with the way that Brenden Riley Hiles on Saturday, Lincoln was talking about just how much he means to this team, and obviously with the unsportsmanlike penalty he had early on in the game, it didn't affect too much. But I'm curious, how has Brenden, who's picked up a few of those flags this year, how has he responded in those moments, just being around him on the sideline after a defensive series? And can you maybe speak to how his teammates view him as far as just like the value he adds to this football team?
Well, he's out there for a reason, because we definitely trust him, and it's not anything other than that. Like we trust him, what he's capable of doing, and he's a smart player. Like he knows the defense inside and out, and that's the reason why he's out there. He makes plays as well, and of course, like he has his mistakes, but we trust him, and he doesn't let it affect him the next play or like the next game. you wouldn't even know that. Like if you didn't know Buki, you like out from the outside looking in, you wouldn't know that he got a penalty on a previous play because he doesn't show it and he doesn't let it bring him down. Like obviously he'll probably be frustrated about it, but he won't let it affect the ones around him. He'll like say next play, move on, and he'll like apologize and try to make up for it. So he's definitely out there for a reason. He's definitely a leader on our defense, and he's definitely a big value for us. And we definitely don't take that for granted.
Gotcha. Thanks, Isaiah.
Okay, Dean Blevins, KWTV, and then Kerry Murdoch.
Yeah, Isaiah, you and the defense have been playing great. It would be a natural letdown this week because you just killed an arch rival, and you guys continue to get better and better. In West Virginia, it doesn't sound like a big game, but you know that it can be.
Right.
Any chance, or what do you do to make sure that you don't overlook this bunch?
Yeah, definitely. We don't underestimate any opponent. And we know how it feels to lose, and we know that we don't want that feeling again. And with the great offense that they have, with the great run game that they have, we're definitely not underestimating them. So the way that we're preparing is definitely not something that we're going to take for granted this week either, because we know that what they're capable of, and we know the stats that that they put up. So it's something that we'll take great pride in as well this week, because they're a great football team as well, and it's something that we just don't want to have like cross our path on what's something like we'll regret on for like what we could have done or what we should have done. So we'll definitely like know what we have in store for West V.
Gotcha. Thanks.
Okay, Kerry Murdoch, Sooner Scoop, and then Parker Thune.
Hey, Isaiah, we talked so much last year about, speed D and simplifying things and the wristbands and things like that. How much, does Alex Grinch's simplified approach help the young guys, especially since you didn't have spring? You kind of had a convoluted fall game. How much is it help those young guys with his approach to get them to be able to contribute as much as they have now?
I think his approach and his way of calling the defense helps them more than anything, because the hardest part that they have to worry about is throughout practice, learning what the plays are, learning on what to do. So when it gets to the game, they just got to look at the numbers, see what the play is, and do what they have to do. And I think it's definitely a great help. It's a great approach because we didn't have the spring, like you said, had a small time to prepare for the season. But with the young guys that we have, it wasn't much for them to learn, because Coach Grinch's defense for us is so simplified that you just look at the wristband, see what the call is, and just know your job. So instead of, looking for like a certain signal or something like that. So his defense is definitely a great approach for especially young guys who didn't get much time to prepare for the season. And it's definitely turned out pretty well for us, and has a lot of young guys playing and getting reps.
Appreciate that, Isaiah. Happy Thanksgiving to you, man.
Thank you, man. You too.
Parker Thune.
Isaiah, you guys are very clearly firing on all cylinders right now. And Ronnie Perkins said after Saturday's game that he believes you guys are the best defense in the Big 12. Would you agree with that?
I would agree with that. And I feel like that's something that we earned. Like, I feel like we earned that title. And I think it's about time that people start putting that respect on our defense, because we've, like lately, throughout the whole season, you see that our defense has really been putting up numbers and really have been stopping offenses. We hear the narrative going into games every week on what this offense is capable of, on what they can do. Then our defense proves that we're something to be talked about as well. And the things that we've been doing with the TFLs, the takeaways, the sacks, and up front with the defensive force that we bring, I feel like it's time that we earn that title and get that respect that we deserve. And obviously it wasn't given. It's a lot of hard work put into that. But I definitely feel like Ronnie is right on point with that. And with the way he's been playing alone, I feel like that shows that we've definitely have earned that title to be called the best defense in the Big 12. But we'll just have to keep proving that week in and week out.
Appreciate that, Isaiah. Have a good week.
Thank you.
Okay, last question, Myron Patton, Fox 25.
Yeah, Isaiah, how much of the fact that you guys have so many guys up front that can make plays, do you feed off each other in terms of you see one guy do it, somebody else does it? How much does that just help you as an individual and as a defense?
Oh, it helps me a lot as an individual. It definitely is exciting to go out there knowing that there's other players up there in the front with you that's making plays. So after Ronnie Perkins makes a play, it turns us up to that, oh, it's my turn. Or after Perrion makes a play, or after Nick Benito makes one, it's definitely exciting to know that we feed off each other, and it's like a race to the quarterback, a race to the backfield to see who can be the first one there to make the play. And I feel like that helps us a lot. It's nothing about us being greedy or anything. We want to do what's best for this team as well, but we also want to make plays and have fun. So I definitely think it's the bigger picture on what we're looking at on providing and being productive for this defense. But after each one of us make a play, we just want to make the next one and the next one. And I think that's why we've had so much success recently.